series that's larger than life itself, that is only currently exclusive on the Sega Saturn, with the 4th installment being an exception on the original Xbox, Panzer Dragoon has quite the introduction for this series. This game is honestly a Saturn classic and has so much more to it than that. It's currently my favorite Sega Saturn game of all time, along with its sequel, Panzer Dragoon 2's Y. Unfortunately, I haven't really played much of Saga, but I really like Saga. But anyways, and the only one that being for the console. Not just the only Panzer Dragoon game, the only Sega Saturn game that I've been in general so far. I've played many Sega Saturn games, like Deep Fear, Policenauts, Daytona USA, Bug, Legend of Oasis, Nights and Into Dreams, and they will be looked at and reviewed in good time. These are games I really enjoy and love, and are great, and I think deserve more attention like many other Saturn classics. But today's about Panzer Dragoon. And Panzer Dragoon is so special to me. It really is. It just really captivated me from the second I turned on the console and played it. I love its atmosphere, its premise, its world, its music, and what it stood for during the time this game came out. I really do wish that this series was not forgotten in time, and that more heads could turn towards its unique nature and quality. But unfortunately, like I just said, like other Saturn titles, it fell into obscurity, and it's highly underrated. This series has a story in a world that's just as huge as Lord of the Rings and such, or Star Wars, and I believe that's very unjustified that not a lot of people even know what the hell this game even is. So, like many other people out there who are very passionate about this game, I'll tell you. Developed by Sega's very own Team Andromeda, the Panzer Dragoon series takes place on an unspecific post-apocalyptic planet where the people compete for land, resources, and the technology of the Ancients within the world. The Ancients is the genetic name given to the people that once controlled a world-spanning, hyper-advanced civilization thousands of years before the start of the Panzer Dragoon series of games. The Ancients were able to create monsters either for war use or practical uses. These creatures survived the downfall of the Ancients and are one of the many enemies in the series. A mysterious cataclysm hinted at as a terrible war during the course of the series would spell the downfall of this civilization and nearly destroy the world, leaving the survivors to eke out a bleak existence among the blasted remains in the ensuing millennia. Eventually, the Ancients and their works would gain a sort of godlike respect and a horrific regard among some people as they passed into legend. Holy crap. The remnants of these technologies are used in the development of much of humanity's own machinery, weaponry, and vehicles, such as the unusual floating ships, which are a staple of the series. There's also some boss fight floating ships too. A faction called the Empire have collected and used weapons from the ancient age to gain dominance of the continent. The first game follows the story of Cal Fluge, a member of a hunter party who encounters a fight between two dragons, colored black and blue. The rider of the blue dragon is mortally wounded in the battle and entrusts his mission as well as his dragon, the Solo Wing, to Cal. Cal must stop the dark dragon, reactivating an ancient ruin. The first chapter introduces the basic features of the traditional gameplay that the Panzer series is now known for, starting out as a rail shooter, giving the player as the choice of two main attacks, a lock-on laser weapon and a rapid-fire gun weapon, as well as the ability to swing the cameras around to shoot the enemies coming from all directions. And it feels very fluid and neat in this game. I'm just gonna let you know, it really does. But holy crap, Jesus H. Christ, my god, this game's world and story is truly ingenious. Like crap, it's crazy that they thought so much before they even released the first game. And we have Yukio Futatsugi to thank. Also, did I mention that this game, or series, or world has its own language? That's right, it's not in English or Japanese. No. The Panzer Dragoon series is told and spoken through a language called Panzerese, which is based on ancient Greek, Latin, and Russian. They're all kind of like mixed together into one language. Damn, talking about going above dedication. I don't know of many, if any other game out there that has done something similar to this franchise. And just that music, listen to that music, it's so beautiful. The music in the Panzer Dragoon games isn't just generally fantastically good, or probably the best music I have ever heard in any game ever. Sorry, Sonic and Shenmue. But it plays a very important role in the games as levels, or episodes as they're entitled as here. The music reacts to each sequence that happens in the level as you go from left to right, which I find to be very unique. It's sort of like listening to a film score, like as you continue the journey throughout the experience, instead of the songs repeating themselves like a lot of video games music did during the time, and even now. Well, games don't really do that now. They do more of what this game started. This game, it basically has a fluid soundtrack. You know, like the music's gonna sound very different as you hear, because like a lot of songs, you know, they repeat. You know, like a lot of 16-bit games do that. Even some games today in some sequences do that. But no, not this game. This game had a very unique kind of way of doing its music. I must warn you though about something very serious about Panzer Dragoon, about this beautiful, glorious gem of a game. If you're planning to play it somehow in today's world, if you do not already own a Sega Saturn, or a copy of the game, or a burned copy, or any kind of copy in general, then I wish you good luck for when you first get into it. This game can be unbelievably difficult at times, and you will most definitely die. A lot. This game unfortunately does not have any saving whatsoever. However, there is a level select code, and depending on how well you do on each stage in terms of what damage you have caused, you gain more lives or continues/credits. If you couldn't tell by this gameplay footage here, I am obviously using an invincibility mode for the sake of making a review for the game. It doesn't mean that I play the game like this all the time or anything, alright? Jesus Louise, it's just for the sake of the review. I decided to, not die and can show you like the entire game pretty much, for the sake of editing and showing you the game. But yeah. So, if you can, and are at least a little interested in playing this game, please try to check these games out, please. They are incredible and larger than life itself, like I mentioned before, and have so much to offer you in terms of experience. I truly do love Panzer Dragoon so much, and like I mentioned before, the world that this game is in is something else. It's so huge. It feels like something like Nausicaa, it feels like Nausicaa the Valley of the Wind. Sounds like a huge story, like a Steel Jubilee production, or kind of like something that Don Bluth would create. Well, I feel that way about Astral as well for the Saturn, which I'll mention that game later on, but I'm definitely going to review Astral. That game is fantastic. Right now, though, unfortunately, there isn't too much going on for Panzer Dragoon's future. Sort of. There are murmurs and discussions on bringing the series back to life. I'm not joking. It's right here in front of your face. Look at this article. Look, I'll put links in the description below where you can read this stuff as well. And hey, if it can happen to Shenmue, it can happen to Panzer Dragoon as well. Please go and follow the Panzer Dragoon role page on Twitter, Facebook, or right here on YouTube to help the series get more attention. It's really heartwarming and good to see that it is not forgotten about by everyone. I've only known about Panzer Dragoon for just a few years now, but it's already one of my favorite Sega game series of all time. Please, please, please play these games. If you don't, and if you can't, then hopefully there's a way to revive them. So, with that being said, everybody, this is Daniel Andrus, the administrator/head of the Sega Heads channel. I'll see you in the next video, and here's hoping for the best for one of the greatest games of all time. Or game series of all time, I should say. See you later. Bye-bye.